She messaged you all of a sudden now? You've been out for over a year. You have.
No,
and you haven't
that's
talked
wrong.
to her this whole time.
No. You know what? I give up. Just whatever. Do whatever you want, dude. Hey, figure out a way to pay bills. There you go.
Welcome back to another review of Life After Lockup. Today we will be reviewing episode 47, Roses and Thorns. So guys, the first couple I want to talk about today is Taylor and Chance. So the scene opens up and it shows Chance is in the living room. He's eating or doing something. Taylor, she's in the room with the baby and she's screaming his name so he could come to her because clearly she can't go to him. So she's calling him and he's screaming, "Oh, give me a effing second." Seriously? Chance. I'm so sick of Chance. He don't have no job. He don't have no respect for Taylor. And he doesn't even help her with the kids or anything. So he finally gets to the room. He picks up the baby. He starts playing with the baby. The baby was looking calm. She was like, "Don't pick him up. He's going to cry." He still picks up the baby and plays with the baby. And she was like, "I was looking at our accounts and I'm showing that you went to the bar." And he was like, "Yeah, I went to the bar because I was stressed out. And I decided to have a couple drinks." And she's like, "Well, why don't you tell me about these things, the finances, stuff like that?" Clearly because they need money. And he's like, "Well, I don't feel like I need to run everything by you."
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And she's like, "Why not? I run everything by you."
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
So Taylor grabs his phone. She's looking through his phone. And she's like, "So who's Tanya?" And he was like, "Tanya is a friend of mine." And she's like, "I don't know no friend of yours that name is Tanya." And Chance gets mad and he was like, "You know what? If we're going to be in a relationship, I don't have to run all of my friends by you. I feel like I should be able to talk to my friends whenever." And she's like, "Wait a minute. You've been out of jail for a year. And this Tanya person, which is your friend, hasn't contacted you. And you're on the phone texting her, telling her you could talk, call, or text whenever. Like, you're a married man, basically, with kids and a newborn baby. Texting Tanya should not be on your brain. Pampers, wipes, milk, those things, assisting your wife who has a newborn at the house and 3 other kids, that should be on your brain. Tanya shouldn't be on your brain. Trying to figure out what Tanya's doing or what she's up to or catching up with her, going to the bar, none of that stuff should be on your brain. Your household and your bills should be on your brain." So he gets mad and he throws his phone and walks out and tells her, "Oh, by the way, you should figure out how to pay these bills." So this is his out of not having to deal with the stress of life. As we can see, most of the cast members this episode, the pressures of regular everyday life issues that everybody else deals with on a constant basis, which is normal in society, is starting to take a toll on the inmates that has come out. So he comes back in and he asks her to come and take a minute so they could talk. So they're talking and she explains to him, and she even breaks down and explains to him, "Hey, the reason why I don't like you talking to other females is because I've already expressed to you that I am very insecure. And due to past relationships, she's built this insecureness. And he's supposed to be the one to keep her feeling secure as her man, her husband, and the father of her children. And he's not doing that." And she tries to explain this to him. And he says to her, "Well, I understand you've been hurt before, but this is not the case. I'm not doing that. So you have to understand, I have friends." And she's like, "But when you're talking to your friends and not able to talk to me, it really, hurts me. Like, how we're in a household and we cannot talk and express ourselves and let each other know what we're going through and how we're feeling." And he's just like, "You know what?" And she was like telling him, "Hey, you do a lot of pointing things at me. Like, you do something wrong and then you blame me. Like, how am I to blame? Because you feel like you cannot talk to me. So you decide to go call your friend Tanya and Jessica and everybody else. How am I to blame because you feel like you can't talk to me? If you want to talk to me, talk to me." So he ends up saying to her, out of everything that she's expressed to him, The only thing he can't say, I understand how you're feeling. I am in the wrong. I should be able to express myself and talk to you more. None of these things came out Chance's mouth. The only thing he could say is, as long as we're together, you're going to continue being unhappy, and maybe the best thing is for me to do is leave. So Taylor's like, Taylor just had your baby. She's like, I was not thinking of you leaving. And again, it's the pressure of the bills. Him not being able to spend money the way he's used to spending it when he first came out of jail. Basically, his lack of responsibility. The kids, now he has more responsibility, an extra mouth to feed. It's all fun and games when that baby in the tummy and you can rub on the belly and stuff, but now that baby is here, plus the kids that she already have, plus your older son. Now the pressures of life is getting to him, and now he wants to bail out on Taylor. So Taylor's just like, you know what? Never in a million years I thought he would have said he want to leave. I wasn't thinking about him leaving. I'm thinking about us mending this issue, fixing our problems. So she's just like, somebody who's constantly saying they're going to leave you, eventually is going to leave you. So that scene ends with Taylor breaking down. Chance is a piece of shit. He's not trying to be a man about it, handle his responsibilities. He put himself in debt. He wouldn't have been in debt if he listened to Taylor. He put himself in debt. He likes lavish things that he cannot afford and cannot sustain a household. He never has no job or keep a job to sustain that household. So at the end of the day, he's at fault for everything he's gone through. So instead of putting the blame game on Taylor and running for the hills when things get hard, he needs to tough it out and be a man. So the next couple I want to talk about is Sarah and Shawn. So we see Sarah, she's driving to her mom's house and she has the kids in the car. Shawn is back at his house. Sarah's talking to her mom and she's letting her mom know, hey, I finally came clean to Shawn about Anthony. And her mom's just like, you know what? I told you to not keep it a secret. I told you to come out and tell him what was going on. So she was telling her mom, Shawn is pissed. He's mad about it. He's mad at you. He feels like we was keeping the secret from him. And Shawn even accused her of cheating with Anthony. And she was like, well, he taking it a bit too far, but you know what? The issue is what it is. Why did you wait so long? Her mom is asking her, why you wait so long before you told Shawn? And she was just like, you know what? I didn't think Anthony was going to stick around. He usually never sticks around. So that's her main excuse. So her mom tells her, you know what? Leave Abby here as long as you want and go smooth things over with Shawn. Because y'all need to. So Shawn's at the house talking to his son, letting his son know how he feels like that Sarah and her family is fake because he cleared out, asked the mother, is anything going on? What's going on with Sarah? Why is she acting this way? And she's like, I don't know. Anything's going on with her. She didn't mention anything to me, so I have no idea. And she lied to his face. He asked Sarah about it. Nobody told him anything. And he's just feeling like blindsided and not trusting of Sarah or her family. So Sarah leaves Abby at her mother's house and she goes home to Shawn. She walks in, she grabs some baby food. She goes upstairs, she put the baby to lay down. And she come back down to talk to Shawn. And she's letting him know, hey, look, the situation that happened before, basically between us, Anthony not being in Abby's life, that situation is no more. Now, he's sober. He wants to be part of her life. And I mainly did this for her because she should know who her father is. So Shawn's just like, yeah, you know what? I understand where you're coming from. But I felt like the first time you did it, okay, you kept it from me because you didn't know how I would react. But doing it multiple times, it just makes me feel like, is something going on between y'all? Is there anything else you want to tell me? And she's like, no, there's nothing going on between us. He even mentioned that they didn't have closure, and the way they broke up, her and Anthony broke up, it was, you know what, just a weird way. And maybe this is their way of trying to keep in touch and get back together. And she was like, no, it's not. We have nothing going on. Me and Anthony are far from that. So she apologized and she let him know she's gonna do everything in her power to make this work, because Shawn is just so untrustworthy of her right now. She lost his trust. He's like, when I'm at work, am I gonna have to worry about you going to meet up with Anthony? Like, you know what? He's hurt. And I understand why he's hurt, because that was some sneaky stuff. She said after it happened, she realized how it looked, and it was already too late after that. But yeah, and it was only because I believe she realized how deep it was when she was started doing all these things when she was meeting up with Anthony, when her breasts bigger, when she changed her hair and things like that. But I think she realized, and she came to her senses and realized Shawn is a good man, and she shouldn't jeopardize a good thing for a maybe. This is why she just stuck with Shawn. Sarah asked him to meet with Anthony, and she was like, if you do meet with Anthony, maybe it would clear up all your doubts, and maybe it would give you your trust back in me, basically. So he's like, I don't know if I'm ready for that, but, you know, hopefully they could work it out. But Sarah, you was dead wrong for that. The next couple I want to talk about is Puppy and Amber. So we see Amber on the phone. She's talking to her mom. And she was explaining how her and her mother has a great relationship now. They went to prison together. If you would have ever asked her if her and her mother would be this close 8 years ago, she would have said no. So she's talking to her mom. She said her mom and dad are back together and everything is fine. Everybody's sober. Everybody's good. And she explained to her mom, you know, hey, remember my friend Ruben? And her mom is like, yeah, I love Ruben. And she was like, hey, well, you know what? Me and Ruben bought a bar, and he basically wants me to go be in a partnership with him. I need $50K. I didn't want to go to try and get a loan because of obvious reasons why I can't get like liquor license and stuff like that. So I'm reaching out to y'all and asking y'all if I could loan the money from y'all so I could invest in this business. Her mother and father proceeds to tell her, hey, this is not a good idea at this time because you're going through a whole bunch of things right now. You have a lot going on. You know, you and TC not getting along as much as y'all used to. You just had to terminate your pregnancy. You've gained weight. You've been battling with depression since all of these things have happened. So this is not a good time to put the stress of being a business partner on your plate. A bar is a lot of work. Owning any business, no matter if it's small or big, it's a lot of work. And it's physically draining and mentally draining. And she's already drained, both physically and mentally. So basically her mom and dad was trying to tell her this is not a good idea. But they said they're going to think about it. So next thing we see Amber and TC, they're driving and he's taking her to buy a flower. Buy flowers or a plant it is. And he's like, yeah, we just going to get a plant, something for the house, you know. They're talking about how usually they go out on Saturdays or Sundays and they make multiple stops throughout the day. But today is just a one-stop day for errands and they're going to get a plant. So they get to the store and they're next to the plant and Amber's expressing to TC how she's been feeling. She's like, I feel like I'm having postpartum depression because, you know, I've gained weight. I'm just all over the place all the time. And, you know, I also want to do this business, but I'm trying to get it together. And he's just like, yeah, we gonna work it out. We're going to work it out. And she says TC is not somebody who talks about how he feels, but she wants to talk about how she feels. And basically, he's just like shutting her down with like one word answers. Yeah, you know what you really need to do is concentrate on going to the gym. It'll make you feel better. And she's just like, yeah, but you know what, we have to talk about the issue one day. Like, we've been dancing around the issue. You really don't want to talk about me terminating the pregnancy. So when am I gonna be able to vent and get this off my chest with you, the person who got me pregnant and is supposed to be by my side? Like, and TC just was not ready to have this conversation and talk about this because clearly it looks like he was against it. But due to medical reasons, she had to do it. So he just told her, you know what, the best thing for you to do is just go to the gym. It'll make you feel better. Even if you want a partnership and you're worried about this business, don't worry about the business. Just go to the gym. That should help. So TC says no matter what he says, when he says it, it just doesn't come out right. So it did seem type cold for him to just give her that type of answer saying, hey, just go to the gym and you'll be fine. And that should not be the case. You should be able to talk to her and let her know, hey, you did something which hurt me, hurt you, but you know what? I'm here for you. And I support you because it was something you had to do. This was your life. It was your life. Your life was threatened at some point and you needed to do this for you. Like, you didn't do nothing wrong. Just reassure her, hey, you didn't do nothing wrong to the sense. You just saved your life. So, TC needs to be a little more open to Amber. Like, she's like crying out for his attention and for him to console her and to be there for her. He seems very cold. Like, he doesn't seem affectionate at all. He's just like so cold. Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't even think I saw them hug or kiss. Really, they're always just sitting down and talking. Anyway, so she finally gets up and goes to the gym. And Puppy's meeting her at the gym. So she was just like, yeah, I'm happy I'm actually taking a step to go to the gym. Puppy's late. She was like, she's late because she can't find her phone. So she goes in there. They start talking. She was like, Amber asks Puppy about Eric. And Puppy's like, me and Eric are over. Okay? That's it. We're done. So then she asks Amber, how are you and TC? And she was like, well, me and TC, we all right. We working on our issues. And she was like, but you're not as happy as you was when you first met him. Nobody is, Puppy. That's just, the honeymoon phase is over with now. And they're dealing with some serious issues now. So she was like, yeah, but she tried to explain to Puppy, hey, we are not getting along right now, but this is nothing compared to you and Eric. Eric cheated on you in your face over and over, disrespected you, probably, maybe, allegedly, physically abused you. This is nothing like what you and Eric have. We have a disagreement. We're trying to work through some serious issues right now. So I'm not going to leave him and we could work it out. So Puppy's just like, you know what? It's crazy because he's coming between us. He has come between us. And she was like, how? Puppy's just bringing up the situation where she couldn't come to Amber's house. And she was like, yo, I'm going to take you to my house. And she was like, but I couldn't even sleep on your couch. And I let you use my address to be paroled at my mother's house. Like, what? And Amber was like, listen, this is not only my house. This is our house. He has issues with Eric and whatever Eric does. And he has 2 teenage sons. So he's trying to be protective of his kids. Granted, your partner, Amber, is not going to like everybody that you're friends with. They're going to look at them like, oh, this is a bad influence. I don't like this person around me or my family. You can hang out with them all you want. But as far as coming to my house or the house we share together, they can't do that. I feel like if y'all have that arrangement as a couple living together, sharing a household together, and that understanding, that's fine. But it seems like Amber and TC are on 2 different pages because TC constantly told Amber that he wants nothing to do with Puppy or Eric. And Amber's still trying to push the issue of Puppy and Eric being around. I don't see the problem with it. TC don't want them at the house. Hang with them somewhere else. Now that Puppy needs a place to stay, she's crying to Amber saying, oh, I couldn't even sleep on your couch. I couldn't sleep on your couch. Puppy, that was years ago. Y'all have gotten out of prison. You have gotten time to get yourself situated. Now, what you did with that time is on you. That have nothing to do with Amber. Amber is situated. She has kids and a man. You cannot always go crash at your friend's couch because you feel like you should be able to. Because at once upon a time, you gave her a couch to lay her head. She could probably if she wasn't doing anything to help you, I'd understand. If she probably would have asked Amber for some money for a hotel, Amber could have gave her some money for a hotel. But coming to a house is just off limits. That would be like her not being a friend. Not giving you no money for the hotel or trying to look out for you. Amber's always there when Puppy needs her. She's always there coming to her rescue. She cannot sit there and rescue you all the time. Like she said, she has her own problems she's dealing with. She's sorry that you broke up with Eric and right now you're living with Queen. But these are choices you made. You chose to move in with Eric. She told you about Eric from the get-go and you chose not to listen. And now you're arguing about sleeping on her couch if you have to. And years ago when you paroled her to your house, you helped her when she was in a tight spot. And she helps you when you was in a tight spot. Because when you came out of jail, I remember, she was the one there for you. She was the one who helped you with a job. She was the one who came and picked you up out of jail. She was the one helping you get off your feet when you got out of jail. Puppy, don't forget that. Like she said, she's been a good friend to you and she's always been there for you. You forget because you need her now in another case, but she's not available because she's not always going to be available. People have their own lives too. You just need to grow up. Anyways, so they had a big blowout. Amber leaves the gym. She goes have a cigarette. While she's having a cigarette, or was she smoking a vape pen or a cigarette? Her mom calls and her mom and dad tells her they deny her for the loan. She's mad about that. Puppy comes out and apologizes, which she should, because Amber has been a good friend to her. No, you cannot sleep on her couch now because she got a man and kids. But maybe she could help you with a hotel. Maybe she could help you in other ways. Sleeping on her couch is just not. She don't know when you leaving. It's awkward. Another grown woman in the house sleeping on the couch while her man is around. I just don't agree with it. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Am I wrong for feeling like Puppy feels like Amber has to be her knight in shining, saving armor person every single time she's in a jam? Amber's the one she calls every time something's going on with her and Eric. I feel like Amber just needs to grow up and stop being so codependent on Puppy. Like, you're grown. You had the chance and the opportunity to get yourself situated. You decided not to. You decided to go chase Eric. So now you're in a jam. That is your problem. You put yourself in that jam. Anyways, so she apologized to Puppy and Amber decides to take Puppy to her house finally because Puppy's constantly going to bring that up and throw a titty fit over it. So she finally brings her to the house, but not to spend the night. So anyways, the next couple I want to talk about is Derek and Monique. So we see Derek, he arrives. He's called Monique like, hey, where are you? Because it's cold out here. So Monique is like, yeah, I'm on my way. I'm driving right now. I'm about to pull up. And he's like, hurry up because I'm pretty sure you're doing 30 miles an hour. So she finally comes and Derek gets in the car. He gives her flowers, which is so sweet. Aww. You know, brings her flowers, comes to see her in her city. I'm not excusing anything Derek did in the past. I'm just saying they decided to move forward. And like I say, you can't move forward if you keep looking back. So they decide to move forward, but you just have to ignore all the stuff from the past. They decide to ignore it, and that's what I'm going to do too, because it's not even my relationship. So he gives her flowers, and, you know, he's like, look, I'm out here. I came for us, and, you know, he's on his phone. Who's that? Who you texting? And he's like, it's just an email. And she was like, oh. So Monique, he tells Monique, you got to trust me a little bit. Yeah, Monique, Derek cheated. You chose to forgive him and move forward. So this is what you should do. You should at least act like you're going to move forward. The first, every day, everybody he texts, he got to run that through you. Like, every single person. As soon as he get a notification, hey, did you land safe from your flight? He got to let you know and read out the text to you. It's getting ridiculous out here. It's getting ridiculous. And the insecurity and the mistrust is just ridiculous. What are you doing with somebody that you don't trust? Like, you're basically mentally torturing yourself every single day. That you're with a person you do not trust is not worth it. Anyway, so she says, I'm bringing you to the new house. I got a new place. And, you know, he's like, why did you have to move? She told him, hey, the rent was too high. I went to get somewhere cheaper. But to me, the house looked like it's more expensive than the first house. You went to got somewhere more lavish, it looked like. Because the last house, I'm pretty sure you and your sister was living in. So now you're getting some shmoney. You went to get something a little bit better. Okay. So she takes him in the house. She's showing him around. It looks nice. He's like, where's the rest of your stuff? She said, I'm just finished moving. I spent so much money. Da-da-da-da. They decide, they go in the room. She said, this is our room. This is our little master bedroom. They had a big mirror in there. And Derek was like, yeah, we're going to do some stuff in that mirror, you know? And she was like, yeah. Instead of worrying about her man who left his city and speak to his parole officers, did everything he was supposed to do to come see her, bring her flowers. Derek was also trying to hide that engagement ring while she was upstairs looking through his bag, climbing on cabinets for her. This man is climbing cabinets because he can't reach the top. He is climbing cabinets to hide an engagement ring to surprise you. But you're so worried about somebody else, you about to miss out on your blessing. That's the problem. When you keep looking back and worrying about everybody else, you're going to miss your blessing. So he over there hiding, trying to hide the ring, trying to figure out how he's going to surprise her and propose to her. Meanwhile, she's over there checking the call logs because she bought him a phone and she tracks everything he does and digging through his bags. Monique, it was the cameras. Now you digging through his bags. You, like, is this your child or is this your man? Like, you said you're going to put it aside. You put it aside. Every 5 minutes, he just landed from a flight. And this is the first thing you want to do is argue? So, Derek finds the wine. He opens it. He brings it up to Monique. And he's like, yeah, I'm about to explore downstairs. You ain't really show me downstairs. Come downstairs. She come downstairs and she's like, so, I was looking through your call logs and I saw a whole bunch of numbers that I don't know. So, who you was calling? Let me see your phone. And he's like, I don't have my phone. It's in my bag. And she was like, your phone not in your bag because I looked through your bag and I didn't see your phone. So let me see your phone. He's like, man, my phone is not here. My phone is in my bag.
Stop it. Get some help.
So, Derek, you was the same person with 4 phones. You had 4 phones at one point. One for Monique, one for friends and family, and the other 2 was for the hoes. So what happened to the phones? Maybe you had to cut them off and they cut off the phones? I don't know. But the friends and family should have been the friends and family plus. Because why? For somebody with multiple phones, also who could get prepaid phones, is constantly getting caught up with the same routine. Is how? Like, how are you getting caught up in the same routine? You know she's going to check your phone. She's going to check your location. You know these things. So how are you still getting caught up in the same routine? Anyways, not to say he's supposed to be cheating or anything, but dang, if you gonna cheat, at least get it right. Stop getting caught all the time. And if you're not good at it, just stop and just stay with Monique because you clearly said that's what you want to be with. You about to propose to her. What is the cheating for? So he's repeatedly says, my phone is in my bag because he's not going to give Monique the phone. So Monique gets mad and she decides to take the flowers and throw them in the garbage. Derek is like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this arguing. I feel like I'm in jail again. And it's dumb. Like, I just got here and the first thing we're doing is arguing and bickering back and forth about numbers that call my call log. Maybe I don't know it. It could have been the wrong number. Who knows? Like, I'm not about to give you my phone, constantly invading his privacy. Like, anyways, so Monique throws the flowers in the garbage. He was like, you know what? I'm not ever getting you flowers again. And he should not get her no flowers again. Because Monique was basically looking for something to argue about. It just seemed like her whole energy was she was looking to argue with Derek about something. And she said, you could stay here for the night, but you need to leave tomorrow. I'm not going to let you sleep on the streets because you're paroled here, but you could leave tomorrow. And she goes in the room and closes the door. It's either you going to forgive him or you going to forget him. If you're going to forgive him, you can't keep bringing that old stuff up. You going to forget him, you're going to leave everything alone. Leave him alone with the girls, the hoes, everything, the family, everything alone. You can't keep arguing with him about his family. You can't keep tracking him like he's a freaking dog on a leash. Like, I don't know. I have no understanding. And even though Taylor and Chance have a similar situation, I feel like Chance should be the one telling her everything he does and every way he goes. Monique and Derek don't got no kids. They have no attachments. Chance and Taylor got a baby together. Monique and Derek ain't married. They're not even engaged yet. Derek have planned to propose several times and have not done it not once. Chance and Taylor are married. So yes, in different circumstances, different outcomes. Chance is taking advantage of Taylor and just treating her horribly and doing all these things behind her back. Monique and Derek, they both know what it is and they both know what they came into. Monique is old enough. Taylor only like 27 years old. She's still a child. She's still grown. Well, not a child, but she's child-minded. A little bit child-minded. I'll say that. So talking about children, the next couple I want to talk about is Cameron and Aerys. So we see Cameron and Aerys, they're driving, and they arrive at a clinic, and I'm like, everybody having a baby. This, oh my goodness. Life, baby after lockup. Life and baby after lockup. So they get in the clinic, and we find out Aerys is 16 weeks pregnant. And Aerys has the nerve to say, her and Cameron took a break from birth control. From her birth control, not their birth control, her birth control. They took a break from her birth control. And before she knew it, she was pregnant. Just like magic. It just magically appeared in her stomach.
Are you stupid or something? I'm as stupid as stupid does.
So, I'm pretty sure this was planned because there's no way you take a break from birth control while you're intimate with your husband and think nothing's gonna happen. But the way she explained it was like, yeah, we just took a break and I got pregnant. I don't know how it happened. Blinked my eyes twice. So she's pregnant and they're doing the ultrasound and they're gonna find out the sex of the baby. Cameron wants a boy, as all men do. And Aerys don't really care. I think she wanted a boy too because she already has a girl. So they find out they're having a girl. Cameron's mad, but he's just like, you know what? I'm gonna be a sucker for this girl. She's gonna be a daddy's girl. Aerys is happy. They put a little message on the sonogram for Aerys's daughter. I forget her name because she hardly is ever shown in the episode. This episode and the wedding was the most I saw of the daughter throughout the 2 seasons that Aerys and Cameron have been on the show. Lena. Yes, that's her name, Lena. Throughout the whole 2 seasons, all I saw was the wedding in this episode. This is the most I've seen Lena. Lena is always gone, always with a family member. So Aerys was like, hey, family's coming over. We're going to let them know that we're pregnant. And you need to fix things with my dad. And he's like, what are you talking about? Me fix things with your father? I didn't know things was broken with your father. She was like, no. I just need you to, make amends. And he was like, make amends for what? I didn't do nothing wrong. So she basically saying the way they got together, the way they got married, her father didn't approve. And he was also not invited to the wedding. He didn't even know she was married at that. I know he was very disappointed about that. So she want him to basically let her father know that, hey, it wasn't something planned. We just did something rush. And just, you know what? Make her father feel like he was supposed to ask her hand in marriage, but he didn't. I guess apologize for that. I don't really know how Cameron get blamed for something Aerys did. That is your father. You was the one who should have felt obligated to let him know you was getting married, invite him, and include him in these events in your life. But why is Cameron making amends with your father? I don't know. Cameron is pissed because he's tired of having to prove himself to everybody. Everybody he comes across feels like he needs to prove himself. And especially Aerys' friend, he's like, look, I'm tired of proving myself. I done came out of jail. I done married you. I done took care of you. I got a job for you. And I'm still having to prove myself to people. Why do I have to prove myself to your father? Can your father not just see everything I'm doing, everything I have done, and just appreciate that? But Aerys gets mad, and she walks out the room. Cameron lays on the bed. He's like, oh, let me lay on this comfy bed. The next thing we see them in the house. Cameron apologizes for how he reacted. And Aerys just wants him to ask her father for her hand in marriage. Lena's getting home. They get the gift to surprise Lena to let her know that she's going to have a little sister. So she goes upstairs, puts her bag down, comes back down, and they sit down and talk to her and give her the gift. So they let her know, hey, we know we put you through so much through this, us getting together, us getting married, us moving together. It's been so much. And this is how they started with talking to Lena. We know it's been so much. It's been a huge adjustment for Lena. I think she's 10. Her mother got married. They got a new house. Cameron moved in. He's her new stepdaddy. It's just been a lot, right? But we have some more for you. Open your present. So she opens her present and she's like, are you pregnant? And she's like, yeah. She's like, you're going to be a big sister. And she's just like, kind of shocked. She's like, being a sister is cool. I mean, she's like 10. She's going to think it's cool at this time in her life. But the adjustment is more stuff that she has to adjust to. And everything, but I hope that baby don't come out like Cameron, because he liked to drink all the soda. I was just like, and so Cameron leaves. Lena and Aerys is talking, and Aerys, she's like, I'm not going to be the baby no more, and I hope you don't love the baby more than me. And Aerys explains to her, hey, I love y'all both equally, and that cannot ever happen. All I hope, this is my opinion, all I hope is that when that baby gets here, and that baby's giving a lot of trouble, and crying, and all of these things, I hope she doesn't take Lena and chucks Lena off to family members as she usually do, so she can have more time and attention on the baby. Because this is when it's going to be an issue. If Lena's constantly leaving the house while the baby's home with Aerys and Cameron, that's when it's going to be an issue. And that's when Lena's going to feel like, okay, she might love this baby more than me. But anyways, so I'm happy for Aerys and Cameron. It didn't magically happen. Y'all planned it. And congratulations on the baby. They are truly miracles. So, nothing bad to say. So the next couple I want to talk about is Blaine and Lindsay. We open up with Lindsay asking Blaine to clean up. We clearly see they're in a new location. And she's like, you didn't do anything I asked you to do. So, the house is not the same house. I thought they was fixing up. I thought they was in that house they was fixing up. In the beginning of Life After Lockup, they was working on a house. But it was a rental house that they moved in. And they had to move again in another rental house. The house is not finished yet. So, she gets mad. She says, I have to go pick up Miley. She's being a teenager. I'm leaving. She leaves. She goes, picks up Miley. Miley's like, why did y'all move anyways? She was like, you know what? Our lease was up. We needed a new rental spot. Miley gets there and she's texting away at the phone and her service drops. And she's like, it's not even trying to send. It just keeps loading. And she was like, well, I'm sorry because we don't got no reception over here. So she goes in the house and Miley sees the house and she was like, it smells like mold and dead people. Damn! And Lindsay gets upset. I mean, that house don't look nothing like the last house. Let's just get that right. So Miley's expectations was a little bit high. And she probably doesn't like it too much. But teenagers, you can't please teenagers. I'm sorry. You just can't. You just have to let them go through that phase. So they get in the house and Lindsay's still mad. Because she was telling Miley she works so much now. She's working now. She's taking on a lot of shifts, and she's always so tired. They moved into a new home, and that's more strain on them. Blaine is asleep. Whatever Lindsay asked Blaine to do, he's like, she's going now. I don't have to hear him out. I'm about to take a nap. So Blaine is asleep. Lindsay's mad because Blaine, I asked you to do something. You went to lay down and go to sleep. And he's like, look, you don't understand what I've been doing. And he's probably been moving stuff back and forth from the old rental house to the new rental house, which is probably exhausting. So Blaine says, I have a surprise for everybody. Come on, Miley. Come on, Lindsay. This is a surprise. He takes them. They're driving. He's taking them paintballing, which is fun, right? You would think Miley wants to paintball. And she gets dressed. Everybody's getting dressed. They're about to start playing. And she gets dressed and she's just like, I honestly really don't want to do this. I thought I was just going to go through it for my mom, but I don't feel like it. As teenagers do, they don't want to do a lot of things. So she doesn't want to do it. So she gets mad and she leaves and she tells Lindsay, I don't want to paintball. I don't want to do this. I don't want to get shot. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to do it. So Lindsay goes ahead. She paints ball with Blaine. They look like they're having so much fun. He's humping her, whatever, because he says he doesn't get to see her much. So he decided to play around a little bit more by humping her on the field while they're paintball shooting. So they're having a good time. To me, I see them having a good time. They're clashing. They're getting along good. They get in the car to leave. And, Lindsay was like, hey, I was moving kind of slow. I started running. I was just like, out of breath. And Miley was like, yeah, you need to run more. And they get to the house. Blaine was like, love you. And when Lindsay was turning around to say love you, Miley shuts the door and walks away. Lindsay calls her mom and she was like, so what's going on with Miley? Why is she acting like this? And her mom was like, well, I don't know. Basically, what you want me to tell you? This is your daughter. I've been taking care of her all these years. What do you want me to tell you? Like, you can figure that out at least. So while Blaine is driving, Lindsay basically breaks down. She's like, oh, I'm tired. I'm hungry. Everything right now. She's mad at the world. She's mad at the world because, she's starting to see her not being there for her daughter, how it's reflecting on her daughter. So her daughter's like kind of being a little rebellious, and most teenagers are at that age. These are the rebellious ages. So she's only 13. So Lindsay, you have a couple more years to go. Strap your boots on, honey, because you're going to be in for a ride. Anyways, Lindsay breaks down and she's just feeling like the pressure of the world is on her and she can't deal with it. Just like Chance. Lindsay, this is everyday life. There's a lot of people who have rebellious teens that they have to take care of every single day. There's a lot of people who have jobs that they have to go to every single day. They have to come home. They have to clean. They have to cook. And they have to get up. They have to do laundry. They have to do it all over again. They have to go to events, for school events that their kids are having. Some people, believe it or not, even have more than one kid that they have to take care of. So for you to be breaking down just because your daughter has a little attitude, she didn't even say nothing rude or smart to you yet. A little attitude is ridiculous. This is the real world. This is not prison. This is the real world. These pressures of life is going to fall in, and you better be able to handle it. Because it's looking like you and Chance are trying to run. Run away from your responsibilities, which is your kids. Run away from your duties by working and providing. What are y'all running from? This is just life. Get over it and deal with it. Anyways, that's all we saw for this episode. This episode was really just annoying to me because it just seemed like privileged people I was watching on TV complaining about everyday life like it's such a struggle. Anyways, that's my opinion. You let me know how you feel about this episode in the comments below. You let me know about how you feel about my thoughts and views on this episode. Please, all comments are welcome. Whether you agree with me or not, let me know down below. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy my videos and would like to be notified every time I upload a new video.